Do you eat? Well, if you do, I've got some bad news. Because you can see this tweet from Jeremy Clarkson, where he says, "Farmers, I know that you've been shafted today, but he says please don't despair, and just look after yourself for 5 short years and this shower will be gone." But in order to see what Jeremy Clarkson's talking about, we need to have a look at this headline here, because it says that farmers feel betrayed by the £1 million inheritance tax relief cap. And we'll get into the details in a moment. But this headline right here, this really could put the nail in the coffin for UK farms. Because it says that farmers across the UK have met the news that inheritance tax relief for farms will be limited to £1 million with anger. What that basically means is that any farm above £1 million, they're going to have to start paying inheritance tax. And whilst nobody likes inheritance tax on a good day, like even at the best of times, it is by far the worst tax out there. But what this means for UK farms, right? Let's say there's a farm that's worth £1 million or £2 million, and let's say that they hand it down to their kids, which is going to be the majority of the time. Like these farms have just been passed from generation to generation. But in order to pass the farm down to their kids are going to have to pay tax on it. So let's say, like I said, that you got a £2 million farm, and the government want you to pay a 20% tax on it, which is what they're talking about at the moment. So 20% of 2 million means that whoever inherits this farm is going to have to give 400 grand to the government. But what the government will say, right, is they'll say, it's just taxes that have become due. So they'll say that, they just need to be paid. But the real problem, and what Jeremy Clarkson's talking about, is where are they going to get that 400 grand from? So they got a £2 million farm. Let's say that they don't have a lot of liquidity. Let's say there's not a lot of cash on hand. But now they've got to find £400,000. Well, the only way they're going to be able to get that money, and let me know if you've come to this conclusion already, the only way they're going to be able to get that 400 grand to give the taxman is to sell the farm. Like, you think about it, honestly, it's the only logical explanation. That's if their farm's got no debts as it is. Like, let's say that their equipment's on loan, or they've financed a lot of it. Well, then they're going to be absolutely snookered by this Labour government. Like, I'm no farmer, okay? My only farm experience comes from playing Farming Simulator on the Xbox. It's a lot more fun than it sounds, trust me. It seems like an absolute 0 out of 10. But I gotta tell you, when you're into it, you'll be there at 2 in the morning and you won't know where the time's gone. But some of these machines and these bits of equipment, they can easily run into 40, 50, 60 grand and above. So to have to juggle all of that, whilst juggling the taxes from the government, that really is mad. And what Clarkson says just here, where he says just look after yourself for 5 short years, I think he's being sarcastic. It's kind of pretty much what he does. But I'm fairly certain he's taken the mick. Because to ask him to hold on for 5 years, actually, to be fair, I guess ironically, maybe he means don't pass away in the next 5 years. I guess you could read into it like that. Just don't pass away in the next 5 years and you might be okay. That is betting on the fact that we get a Conservative government or a Reform government and they wind inheritance tax down. So there's a lot of ifs in that journey. And that's a half-decade journey as well. So I think it's anyone's guess as to what's going to happen. But does that make sense to you? These people are going to leave their farms to their kids, and their kids are going to have to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds in taxes. So like I said, the only way they're going to inherit that farm is by them selling it, indirectly affecting the food supply. Like they say, no farms, no food. Well, this is getting rid of quite a few farms. And as always, thank you for becoming one of the 53,685 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.